All right, well, hey, everybody. Welcome to Trending. Today is December 30th. It is 9:53 a.m., and today is the Trending at Home edition, at least partially. I'm on vacation.
Right.
I'm on vacation this week, so this is my home office. Joe's still in the church office. He's a harder worker than I am, apparently. So we're a half remote, half. This is a hybrid episode of Trending.
It is. It is. I think our whole life has been hybrid. Some people work from home and at work. So this is just kind of apropos for 2021.
The first ever hybrid edition, the Zoom edition.
That's right. I see that you have superheroes in the background of your home office too, man.
Yes. So at church, my church office, I have all my Marvel characters, right? So home, I've got my DC. I only have Superman and Batman, and then Leonardo, the Ninja Turtle. So
Gotcha.
got to keep them separate. We don't want any fights to break out.
That's right. That's right.
All right, man.
Well, hey, real quick, Joe, did you have a good Christmas? First of all, I've got quite a bit of feedback about our Santa Claus episode. That was a lot of fun last week. So if you missed our Santa Claus episode, make sure you go back and watch it. We had a good time. But
We might have to have ring him up every year, maybe every other year, keep it fresh. But it was quite popular. So no, we had a good Christmas. Some downtime, family time, good presents, good Christmas Eve. Worship here at Ridge Point. It was cool, that picture you probably took in the back of the auditorium when we were doing the Silent Night thing. That was cool. It was a neat time to be together. So how about you? How was Christmas?
it was good. Yeah, been a lot of time at home with two little girls, so it's kind of crazy around here. I think I've played 4 or 5 rounds of Candyland this morning already.
Man.
There were a few tears, and I won't tell you if they were mine or my daughter's, but got pretty competitive. So, but
Nice, man.
it's been
Fair
good.
enough.
We've had a really good Christmas. So,
Nice.
okay, so the past couple weeks, Joe, we've been doing something kind of different. We usually do the top 5 Google topics, but as we're wrapping up the year, kind of trying a couple different things. And so you had another, I think, a good idea for us to do this week. So why don't you introduce us? What are we doing this week?
Yeah, so I think it's kind of cool to break up the monotony. I mean, the regular program for Trending is we take the Google Trends and we talk about them, try to interact from our faith perspective a little bit. And, earlier in the month we did favorite things, right? And that was fun, and we'll probably do that, the same week in December every year. So I thought, what would be cool is if for the last Trending of the year that we do bold predictions. We can call this the Nostradamus edition of Trending, just for fun. We kind of take a stab at what's going to happen in our world, either culturally, personally, in the church, politically, whatever we think we want to talk about. And so what I thought we'd do is that we'd each make some predictions, and then we would capture them. And then this time next year, we'll bring them out, and we'll kind of see what our batting average was. So what we'll do is on the back here, right here, I've got a bobblehead of Sister Jean, who is the chaplain of the University of Loyola Chicago basketball. You would have known her if you were into March Madness. Anyways, it's a bobblehead of Sister Jean. She will guard our predictions so that they don't walk off and vanish, or that we don't try to redact them.
Tamper with the evidence. Yeah, okay.
That's right. So we will we promise that we will make predictions, and then we will measure how good of a are we Nostradamus level, or are we just quite pathetic in our predicting? So I was thinking about this, when we make predictions, they need to be measured in some way. They can't just be vague, kind of like goal setting. They need to be, so we could actually with a lab coat on say yes, no, that was predicted or not. And then we have to try to be careful not to say things that we wish will happen.
Yeah.
Right. We try to be controlled and say no, as objectively as possible. I think this is going to take place. So, how does that sound?
That's good. You got the ground rules all out of the way. I like it.
All right, man.
So just real quick, we came up with these independently. I don't know what yours are. You don't know what mine are. You,
Right.
of course, were very organized. And you've kind of got some structure. You've kind of got some categories of predictions.
Right.
Mine are all kind of just cultural. I think this might happen next year. So why don't you start us off, Joe? Because I know you've got categories. What's your first category, and what's your first bold prediction for 2022?
Let me just say, I'm kind of surprised that I organized mine this way and you organize, because you are way more organized. I mean, these people, they need to see how you organize your day and week and stuff. where, man, I'm just Enneagram 7. I'm kind of in for the experience. I'm like the ready, fire, aim guy. And so I'm surprised. So like maybe you're rubbing off on me. Maybe I'm rubbing off on you. So
maybe so.
A nice little byproduct of working together and trending. So, okay, so my first category is a prediction for myself. And my second category, just to give you a heads up, is going to be a prediction for your year next year. So as a friend of yours, coworker, I'm going to predict what might happen to you. So for me, category 1, so some other people might know, like I ran the St. Jude half marathon earlier this month in a suit, a 3-piece suit. I did it because we've got a St. Jude patient from Wichita who wore a suit to all of his proton therapy, radiation therapy when he was a patient at St. Jude. I thought it was cool. It was a cool way to tell his story. And so I ran a half marathon in a suit. The suit was destroyed. I kind of just left it in my hotel room just to let bygones be bygones, never going to wear that one again. But I had so much fun wearing the suit. I got funny comments throughout the way. Perhaps my favorite one was, "Dude, are you going to propose to somebody at the finish line or something?" They called me GQ, other stuff like that. And so I thought, it could be cool. So I've got a prediction. I predict I'm going to wear a suit again, okay, in the race in 2022. And my prediction is going to be that I'm going to get at least one other person to wear a suit as well, okay?
Okay. In the St. Jude Marathon.
In the St. Jude Marathon weekend. So it could be the 5K through the marathon, just one of those races. Somebody else is going to get inspired, and they're going to wear a suit as well. So, and I just think it's because it's going to be proof that this thing's going to be a movement. Now, so one of the best TED Talks ever was by a guy named, I think his name is Daniel Sivers, and he talked about the making of a movement in 6 minutes. And he says that every movement just needs its first follower, which creates the first person a leader. Because before they get their first follower, they're just a crazy person. But when they get their first follower, they become a leader, and a movement takes place. So bold prediction is we get one other person at least to wear a suit for the St. Jude Marathon weekend.
I like it. Okay. That's a bold prediction, but I think it's doable.
All right, we'll see.
Okay, I like it.
All right.
Okay, I've got 5 here. I'm going to start. Some of mine are a little bit more serious. I'm going to get my surface level silly one out of the way. Are you ready?
Okay. Yep.
Of course, it's about Taco Bell.
Yes.
So I think this year in 2022, Taco Bell will release a Cheetos burrito.
Okay.
That thing does not exist. But Cheetos is on the prowl. I don't know if you've seen the advertisements, but they partnered with Applebee's to make Cheetos buffalo wings.
Ooh.
And so I feel like Cheetos is expanding, and they're trying to get their flavor into more just ridiculous food items. Taco Bell has the Doritos tacos. They're also known for taking silly risks and making ridiculous new foods. So my first bold prediction in 2022, Cheetos and Taco Bell will team up for the Cheetos burrito.
I love it, man. I would eat it. So the moment it comes out, we will go to lunch at Taco Bell the first day. We're and then we will give a review on trending. I could see it coming to pass.
And let's wear suits. Let's wear suits to Taco Bell and eat a Cheetos burrito.
Do you even own a suit? I kind of feel like it's all zip-up hoodies and stuff. And white
What do you mean?
Adidas sneakers.
I do. Really, we both went to Sterling College. Really short side story. When I was at Sterling, one thing that I kind of helped start is we had Suit Coat Tuesday. And so, again, it started with just me and a couple friends, and we wore a suit coat all day, every Tuesday. And pretty soon, a ton of people were doing it. So I could probably track down a suit coat somewhere.
Nice. I like it. Okay.
Okay, prediction number 2.
So prediction number 2 is going to be for you. I think that by the end of 2022, that you will be well on your way of finishing your second book.
Oh.
So I think some of our audience has no idea that you've already written a book, and it was good. It was self-published, but whatever. You went through the process. I know because I was one of your instructors at Sterling just once. You have great grammar. You have great ideas. I feel like you got good work ethic. So I think that you're going to get some margin and an idea. Like you're going to like wake up in the middle of the night. You're going to like scribble some stuff down. And then all of a sudden, like towards the end of next year, a second book with your name as author is going to be in the works.
Okay. Well, that's a bold prediction.
That's what it is, man.
I've got two little girls. I feel like I have no time, but I would love to. So we'll see.
All right.
Okay.
I thought your prediction for me was going to be that I was going to wear a suit with you in the St. Jude Marathon. I thought you were going to do a twofer, and you were going to try.
I'm not going to force anybody to do it, man. I think someone's just going to have the epiphany. They're going to the Shekinah glory is going to rest on them. They're going to say, "I'm going to wear a suit with Joe at the St. Jude race." But,
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good.
All right,
I thought you were going to try to weasel one in on me, but okay. All right. I like it. We'll see if another book's in the works. We'll see.
All right.
Okay. My number 2. Again, this isn't too groundbreaking, but I feel like this has been in the works for a while. So I think this might be the year. I think Justin Bieber and Kanye West might collaborate for a worship album. I think it's possible. And I think Bieber had like a Easter EP thing this past year. Kanye has definitely gone much more Christian in his lyrics. So I feel like it's time for a Kanye Bieber collab, and they're going to go full out gospel.
Full out. Okay.
I think it's possible. So we'll see.
What are the odds that the name Barabbas is on one of the tracks?
I would say about 99%.
Okay. All right. But who's gonna see? I agree. Like there could be something, but both those guys are gonna have to give a little because they're like alpha males when it comes to the limelight. So they're gonna have to give a little bit so that they don't just try to devour one another and stuff. So that would be an interesting collab for sure.
But Bieber's doing more and more like featuring. Like he does a lot of like featuring spot on other people's stuff. Like that's kind of, he has his own albums, but more and more that's his kind of go-to is to be featured on a single. So it's a bold prediction, but I feel like it's very possible. So I think 2022 might be the year.
You might have like the first one of our list to see if it comes to pass, because it would probably be an Easter thing. And so Easter is later this year. It's in like the second half of April. But I think that we'll be able to retrieve the list from Sister Jean's grasp and check that one off either in the win or in the loss column there.
Hey, so we'll see. Bieber and Kanye, we'll see. 2022 might be the year.
All right. Very good.
What's your number 3?
All right. So the next category I'm going to tackle is going to be in the political prediction. And before people really start to tighten up and get worried, I just think that so we do have midterm elections coming up, but I think what we're seeing in a global scale in geopolitics is younger leaders and a greater diversity in the political class, and so I think that we're going to see an even further diversification and perhaps even a younger average age office holder in U.S. politics. So that's just we won't be able to see this until November, of course, when the midterms happen. But I do believe that we're going to see just a greater diversity of the political class in regards to, I think, gender diversity, I think ethnicity, religious diversity. It just seems like that's the appetite for our world, particularly younger and younger in American life. Younger and younger people are. People want to see a diversity. And so younger voters are coming of age, and so I think that we're going to see a greater diversity. So we'll be able to measure that after the midterm elections. So I will retrieve that from Sister Jean's grasp,
okay,
and we'll be able to see if that was a good prediction or not.
Again, I feel like that's probably one of the most likely ones to be accurate. So I think that's I agree. I would imagine that happening as well. But we'll see.
All right.
The world is, you never know.
That's right.
Okay, so last time on our favorite things I talked about Taco Bell, of course, and I also talked about streaming services. So I have a prediction about streaming services for 2022.
Okay.
I think 2 things will happen. I think one of the major streaming services will either die or merge with another one, and a new unforeseen one will become a top 5 streaming service.
Okay, so we need to go ahead and capture right now the top 5.
Sure. Okay.
And then like measure it, I guess this time next year, top 5, and see if you. No, do you want to take a stab at who's going to like wander into the world of streaming services?
I'm not sure about that, but there's just so many of them, right? We talked about this before. So
Yeah.
I don't know if this exactly will happen, but I think something like this might happen. I think something like Paramount Plus might merge with someone like Hulu. And I think we might start to see that because as more and more of these come up, people can't afford having 20 streaming services at $10 a month a pop. So I think we're going to start, there's going to have to be a little bit of collaboration. It makes sense to me that Hulu might grab one of the like ancillary kind of network related ones. So that's my only specific. I think maybe Paramount Plus might go combine with Hulu. And I haven't spent much time thinking about who the new one will be, but it might not be an established network or an established production company. It might be something random we don't foresee coming that has a great hit. It becomes a cultural wonder, kind of like Ted Lasso or whatever that everyone's talking about, and it'll probably be a relatively cheap upfront cost. Maybe it's $5 a month, and everybody's watching one specific show, and then it becomes one of the main ones. So I predict a death of one and a birth of one this year.
All right, sounds good. Now I think if like Elon Musk gets behind one, maybe that's the thing, like he seems to shoot things into the stratosphere.
Or Richard Branson, you could be a virgins. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe Cheetos will hook up with like one of the streaming services. Like you can scan it on the like bag, like just boom, that's how you get it. I don't know. Who knows?
Taco Bell Plus. I'd be the first subscriber.
TV Plus, not to be confused with Tom Brady.
Or that kind of sounds like a disease.
It does, yeah. They need to really think about that. Right.
Okay, what's up?
Okay.
You got 2 more.
So 2 more. Well, I've got one plan, and then I only had 4, so I'll think of one. I'll think of one though. Okay. I think that for the global church, so a misnomer is when we talk about church, I think oftentimes we think about like my church that I attend. But when we talk about church, it's like the big C, which I don't know which way, the big C church, which is like I think the global church. And I think sometimes it's risky to talk about the global church because there are so many Christians. There's a great diversity in the church. There's so many churches. And it might be tough to measure. So next year's episode, we may have to like do a little aside, and I promise to do some work on it. But I think in the global church, I think that we're going to continue to see an interest in developing the online expression of church. I think so. I've been listening and taking in some Kerry Newhoff, who is one of these zeitgeist guys in the church. Even though he pastors a church, he does kind of hold sway and sees what's going on. And he thinks that where the church is going, the average church, if they have the means to do it, they will have like an in-person format that you can't get unless you're in person. But then they're going to create an online, because online is not going to go away. And that's not just because of the pandemic. It's just a lot of people connect online still. An online version that's only for online audiences. And the purpose is not to separate, but it's to draw people towards those. If their appetite is for in-person, well, you can't get it unless you're there. If your appetite's online, then we're going to create it for the online viewer in mind, not just a person who happens to be online viewing because they're out of town that week, right? And so I think what we're going to see is a greater deliberate, instead of reacting to, hey, we got to find out an online option because of pandemic mitigation. It's going to be like, no, we're going to leverage it and not just react with it. So I think how can we measure that? I'm not sure. I just think what we'll see is more and more churches are going to, have 2 expressions of worship and connection and engagement. 1 year from now, we're going to see it clear as day. I think some churches are, but I do think that more churches are going to be deliberate with it in the years to come.
Yeah. Again, I think you're right. That'd be really interesting to see how that all shapes out.
Yeah.
Okay, and actually, my next one is kind of similar to that.
Okay.
So this is a very bold prediction, but I'm going to go out on a limb. And I'm going to say 1/4 of Americans will attend an event in the metaverse next year. So if people aren't familiar with that, so the metaverse has been like one of these buzzwords lately. So Facebook kind of rebranded themselves. Their company is now called Meta. They're kind of going all in on VR, virtual reality, AR, augmented reality, and they're saying that VR, AR, your online persona, and your real life is all one thing. Like we used to kind of separate them. Like this is who I am online, this is who I am in person. If you have VR or AR headsets or whatever, you can be a totally different person. So anyway, that is only going to keep taking off. And so there's more and more of these things where you can attend a concert or you can attend a Q&A with a high profile person or whatever in VR or AR. The metaverse I think it's just going to start. Like right now it's still kind of on the fringe. A lot of people aren't really paying attention to it. People don't really understand it. I don't understand it. But I feel like this year is when we're going to see more and more people buying headsets, making accounts for these online little worlds. And there's going to be enough free options that are intriguing enough that people are going to give it a shot this year. So,
All right.
And what I was talking about with you is Life Church was the first church to hold a church service in virtual reality. They did this just a few weeks ago. And so we're gonna see more and more of that, is where the church is going to try to grab hold of these kinds of things, take advantage of the technology, and see how they can fit that into their overall strategy. So I think church will be an aspect of it. I don't know how many churches will do that this year, but bold prediction: 1/4 of Americans will attend an event in the metaverse this year.
Man, it is a bold prediction, and it's a interesting surprise to hear. I mean, I'm not surprised that Life Church would dabble in it. I mean, they're on the cutting edge of about everything in church world. But for them to try to host a worship service in the metaverse, wow, that's good. So maybe we shouldn't develop online. Maybe we should just go right to Meta. I mean,
Meta's going to take a while. It's not going to be like super mainstream for several years, I don't think. I could be wrong, but I think the digital online thing will continue, and then the meta will slowly kind of creep into kind of more prevalent American life, I think. But
we should invite people to be in the audience of a trending episode in the metaverse. Like
we could be the first. What are we, a talk show? I don't know. Whatever we are, the first of whatever we are to offer a VR live studio audience. We could probably do that next year.
Yeah.
And no one would come, but we would be the first to do it.
That's right. And which brings up a philosophical point. If nobody attends, did it really happen? You know, I guess you could argue that both ways.
I bet Ellen or Jimmy Fallon or someone will do it before we can get our act together.
Yeah. But if we do it first, maybe they'll have us on.
It's true. Okay, well, we got a project to work on.
That's right. Never shortage of things to do. So you and I are sports fans. I think it's always interesting to try to predict who's going to win what in the coming year. So I'll go ahead and take a stab at baseball. So I'm more into baseball than you are, and you could, probably share why that is or is not. But I've gotten into baseball lately, and so I'm going to predict the World Series winner in 2022.
Okay, I'm ready.
I think that the San Francisco Giants are going to win in 2022. I don't particularly like the Giants. I don't hate them, but I follow the Brewers most closely. But I think the Giants, so they've won recently, but it's been a while. They had a great ball club, and they kind of fell apart a little bit towards the end of the season. Buster Posey retired, so he's off their payroll. He was a great player, so it gives them some room. I think they're a little bit under the radar because they score runs, but they don't have flashy players. And so I think, just like the Braves were kind of like that team this past year who won the World Series, I think the World Series stays in the National League, and I think the San Francisco Giants win this year.
Okay. All right. Again, I think they were good this year, so we'll see what next year or what this year brings. So
Yeah.
Okay, got one more. This one I'm excited about. I'm hoping, our audience is growing just a little bit week to week. So I'm really hoping that someone from Kroger or Walmart is listening. So if we have any people from Kroger or Walmart, I've got a great idea for you. This is kind of a bold prediction, and this is kind of Shark Tank, because I have an idea that I think is really, really brilliant.
Okay.
You ready for this? Okay, so at our house, I guess over the past couple years, we've transitioned, and pretty much all of our groceries we do online pickup. Like, do you guys do ClickList or Walmart Plus or Walmart, whatever it's called?
We do. So we'll do Dylan's pickup today, but I like to go to Costco. So I go to Costco once a week, and so I'm going to do that before I go pick up the other groceries.
Okay. So this, ClickList or whichever store you go to, they have this, like, you order online, you go to the store, pick it up. It's usually free. It's really convenient. I think it's great. And so there's that. And there's more and more of these meal kit services, right? You've got HelloFresh, Blue Apron, all those kinds of things. I think Kroger or Walmart should partner with one of these meal kit services and offer a hybrid. So let's say you're doing ClickList and you're like, all right, I need, chicken and lettuce and noodles and this kind of sauce and croutons and whatever. Dylan's pops up and says, hey, if you add broccoli, here's a great dish that you can make. And it gives you a great, like, gourmet recipe based on what you're already buying. So it helps Kroger or Walmart because they can add on an item or two, and it helps the consumer because I don't know if you guys are like this. We buy basically the same stuff most weeks. But if we're like, oh, only adding one more ingredient and we're getting a great recipe, it's step by step, we can knock it out quickly. To me, I don't know why this hasn't already happened. I think it's kind of combining the convenience of online grocery shopping with the meal kit providers. I think it should happen, and I hope it happens this year. I think it's a good idea.
I think we're a step closer. With Amazon and Whole Foods, like that makes this thing possible. It makes what Stephen Johnson, cultural thinker, says the adjacent possible, right? I think you're right. It allows Kroger to develop the grocery line by saying, because they'll probably upcharge you, because you can buy all those individual a la carte items for, let's say, $5 a meal, or like for $6.50 a meal. It's already like coming together for you, and you could just do the meal plan instead of that. I like the idea because, like, right now during hockey season, we've got 3 nights a week where we got practices and then church stuff. And so, like, I'm kind of flirting with the idea of, for the next few months, like, getting into a meal service.
Yep.
Because that's a whole lot easier after we get home, do like a family prepared meal thing. So I think you're onto something, man. This is why you're gonna have a book at the end of the year, because like you're just like brimming with all these popping all these ideas off, man.
I think it's good. So if Kroger or Mark Cuban, if you're watching, it's a gift. Here you go. You don't even have to give me. I won't even.
No. You stop that. You heard it here first. You get some sort of rights.
Fair enough. Call me Mark Cuban. I want to make a deal with you.
You got to send a couple of kids to Sterling College. Like you're gonna need some thousands of dollars.
True. Okay, well, those are my 5 predictions. You had 5 good predictions. I think your politics one is a pretty safe bet.
Okay.
I think the Giants is a pretty safe bet. Some of mine are kind of out there. We'll see, but I think you've got a better chance of yours actually happening. We'll see.
But I think like if more of yours happen, like your street cred goes all, because you're taking bigger swings than I am, I guess.
Some risky ones, but we'll see.
That's awesome.
All right, that was fun. So okay, so are you gonna print off this list and give it to your bobblehead, or how's this working?
That's right. So we'll get it in, and we'll take a picture. We'll post it. I don't know, not on Ridgepoint's feed, but on one of ours, like so people know that it's there. If you visit my office, it's there. It's just out in the open. This is not clandestine. Like this is like totally out in the open. And then we'll just kind of go from there. So a year from now, we'll show like a little bit of a B-roll of this, and we will tally up before we give our next bold predictions.
Okay. So the last Thursday of 2022, we'll do the same thing. I like it.
That's right.
All right, man. Well, that was fun. That was a good idea. Thanks for pitching that. I like it.
Well, we'll see how it goes. So maybe we should have people put their prediction, and like don't trigger anybody. Like just have fun with it. Like don't be that guy or gal.
Yeah, exactly. So give us yours and tell us which one of ours you think is most likely to happen.
There you go.
If you're willing to meet us at Taco Bell to eat a Cheetos burrito in a suit, we'll add you to the list and we'll call you if you are in that. If you're up for that.
I have a feeling if this happens, we're gonna land on Fallon.
I hope so, man. Jimmy's my hero. That'd be great.
It'd be so awesome.
It would be great.
All right, man.
All right, man. We got to go. This has been a long episode. But
right,
so,
sounds
hey,
good.
this is our first year. So thanks for doing training with me, Joe. This has been a lot of fun. And thanks to you. I know we've got a lot of people who, again, we get so many kind comments from you guys who watch along with us. So thank you for watching and looking forward to doing this again some more next year. So any closing thoughts,
Sounds
Joe?
good.
Just Happy New Year, man.
Yeah. Happy New Year. We'll see all of you in 2022. See ya.